Yeah, so this video is going to be a bit of a weird one because obviously I've been making videos on 8 Passengers for quite a few years now, and throughout them years we have spoke about the possibility that the police could get involved, CPS could get involved, something big could happen because we felt so sorry for these children, right? I mean, the videos that we've seen that have been posted publicly are horrendous, so God knows what happens behind the scenes. It was very worrying, and like I said, we spoke about the possibility of someone getting involved, like the police or CPS or whoever else. But it seemed like it was never going to happen because I feel like my first video on 8 Passengers was about 4 years ago, and God knows how many videos have been within that 4 years, and we've heard absolutely nothing. In fact, just recently they started getting some mainstream media coverage. Like, it took that long. So as much as I shouldn't have been shocked, I was beyond shocked when I woke up this morning and I'd received like the most DMs on Instagram I think I've ever received in my life. Quite literally, if I scroll down Instagram, every single minute I was getting a new message, right? And I was thinking, right, what's happened here? Like, clearly something big has happened, and it turns out Ruby Franke has been arrested. So there's a lot of information we need to get through, and I'm going to try and do this in somewhat chronological order from what we found out first to what we now know. So 8 hours ago, as I'm recording this video, which would have been 1 AM my time, official Jodi Franke, obviously Ruby's daughter, posted this picture on Instagram, and it's a woman who is being arrested. Obviously there's a few police cars there, and the caption says, "Finally." Now straight away you think, is this Ruby, right? It's a blonde woman, that fits Ruby, but then you also think, oh, it could be someone else, we need more information, and we got more information. "Hi all, today has been a big day. Me and my family are so glad justice is being served. We've been trying to tell the police and CPS for years about this, and so glad they finally decided to step up. Kids are safe, but there's a long road ahead. Please keep them in your prayers and also respect their privacy." Yeah, so even though that statement is very short, there's a lot we found out in this. The point that stands out the most to me is the fact that Jodi says that her and her family have been trying to tell the police and CPS for years about this, which is crazy, right? Because you would assume that could have been the case from the videos that we've seen, and God knows what's happened off camera. But then I would always get like a few comments on my videos from people who were trying to defend Ruby and be like, oh, you know what, like if they really were living such a sad life, like the kids, and they didn't like what was going on, CPS would be involved, the police would be involved. The fact that they're not involved makes me feel like they're just doing a good job parenting all this stuff. And yeah, it was always so bizarre to see them takes in the first place. But yeah, clearly that couldn't have been the case. Her own family were trying to get CPS and the police involved for years, and they wouldn't do anything, and they finally have. So you might be thinking, what has happened now to make the police finally step up? Now, the information we have is slightly vague, but we do know some details. So the first thing we saw was the arrest record. So as we can see, Ruby Franke arrested for aggravated child abuse intentionally or knowingly, and also Jodi Hildebrandt is in custody for aggravated child abuse intentionally or knowingly. Which kind of gives me a weird feeling, because as much as I'm glad that something's finally been done about this, I can't help but feel so sorry for the children. For this to happen, clearly some stuff has happened off camera that we aren't aware of yet. And yeah, I can only imagine what's happened. Obviously, I don't want to speculate on complete specifics because we don't know, but I just feel so fucking bad for the kids. There was also this Reddit post that apparently been verified and whatnot by moderators that this is true. Obviously, this is just speculation. I'm not going to say it's 100% true because I don't know personally, but it seems like it is. And it's an insider who's came out with this information, maybe someone in the family or something else, someone who wants to stay anonymous, but they said a few points here. 20 plus officers responded at the scene with representatives from federal, state, and local levels. Kevin and Ruby were arrested separately. Ruby has been spending much of her time at Jodi's residence in a different city. There are reports of child malnourishment. The 2 youngest, Franke children, were seen by paramedics. All of the children are now safe and getting the care they need. So yeah, obviously that last line makes you think that it could be something to do with food, which obviously we've heard Ruby's stance on giving her kids food in the past. She uses it as punishment and doesn't give her children food if they do something that she doesn't agree with, which makes me very worried about that last post. Yet again, I don't know 100% if this bit is confirmed, but I mean, we have heard Ruby talk about this in the past, and her beliefs have been getting a lot more extreme since we saw them videos. I mean, them videos talking about using food as punishment was years before Connexions, before this whole mum's a true thing where she started a cult and whatnot. This Ruby Franke now is completely different to that, and a lot worse, a lot more extreme. Like, we've heard some of the stuff she said in these videos, and that's a big reason why so many people are worried about the kids. But this is where we start to get a few more specifics on this situation, because Fox News started covering it, and they actually covered it live on air before they knew some more specific information that they later show in some articles that we will get to. But this was the broadcast that was shown on TV. It's not very good quality, so bear with, but you get the gist.
An incident that started in the St. George area this afternoon had them checking up on 2 children of local YouTube stars Ruby and Kevin Franke from the popular 8 Passengers YouTube channel.
Okay, now straight away we hear that it's to do with 2 children specifically, out of 6 children, which makes me think, is it the youngest children, right? I don't know what the living situation is. Obviously, it seems like Kevin and Ruby have been split for a while, so maybe some kids have been living at separate houses. I don't really know, but yeah, it's to do with 2 children. That's why the cops are called.
St. George police have confirmed with Fox 13 that the Santa Clara Ivins Police Department is handling the case in southern Utah. Now, the 2 children, 2 daughters, were found unharmed at a home in American Fork. Working to find out what happened in St. George that initially alarmed police if any charges have been filed. We'll continue to follow this.
But yeah, after that broadcast, we also got an article from Fox News with a bit more information, and we'll have a read through now. Washington County, Utah, 8 Passengers mother Ruby Franke and founder Jodi Hildebrandt of the parent counseling service Connexions were arrested Wednesday night for 2 counts of aggravated child abuse. Yeah, so it's worth mentioning that Kevin Franke being arrested isn't mentioned in this article, so maybe he wasn't, which leaves me a bit confused by this Reddit post, because apparently it was from an insider who wants to kind of remain anonymous, and every time that this type of thing has been posted on this Reddit page, it's turned out true. This is where people found out about Kevin and Ruby's split. It was through like an insider who gets in touch with the moderators on this Reddit page, and it did turn out to be true in the end. So I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, the bits of information are so kind of choppy at the minute, and we don't really know what's happened. The Washington County Sheriff's Office confirmed that they have been placed in custody for intentionally unknowingly committed aggravated child abuse at 9:33 p.m. Earlier Wednesday, the Springfield Fire Department responded to a mutual aid incident at Hildebrandt's residence in Springfield at 3:44 p.m. for nearly 2 hours. It is not known yet if the incident is related to Franke and Hildebrandt's arrest 6 hours later. And yeah, then the article goes on to basically talk about Connexions and what Ruby and Jodi have been doing for the past few years. But yeah, like I said, this is all very vague. There was an incident with Jodi 6 hours before this where mutual aid got involved. We don't know if that's related to the arrest. It seems like it might be, right? Unless it is just a coincidence. So yeah, very mixed opinions, right? Because on one hand, you feel extremely sad for the children that they had to go through this. But on the other hand, you're happy that justice is being served, as Shari said, right? And something that they've been trying to get done for years is finally getting done. And hopefully this will make Ruby realise what she's been doing for so long is absolutely horrendous and disgusting on so many levels. Although thousands and thousands and thousands and millions and millions and millions of people have been trying to tell her that for so long, and she hasn't listened. So you can only hope that this will have a positive effect in terms of Ruby's actions. But yeah, at least the police are actually getting involved, something that the family and the kids have wanted for years, as Shari said, and it's finally getting done. And yeah, it's about time, it seems. I assume more information is going to come out within the next few days and next few weeks. So obviously, if that does happen, I'll keep you guys updated. I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below on this whole situation. If there's any more bits of information that come out by the time this video goes out, which could be very possible, you can probably expect another video very soon. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. I think the most important thing here is that we can just hope and pray that the kids are better now, right? They're in a better situation and they are getting the care that they need, which it seems like they are in terms of like the articles and whatnot and like posts. It seems like they're in good hands now. But yeah, we can only hope, because it seems like they've had to live a fucking very, very tough life. And God knows what's been happening off camera, because the stuff we've seen on camera that was optionally put on YouTube is disgusting. So yeah, hopefully they're okay. And yeah, either way, that's it for the video, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.